Hello, thanks for attending our on-demand user group. This video is with Amy Baldwin, the South Carolina 2021 STEM Educator of the Year. Amy's at a Gateway to Technology teacher at Oak Brook Middle School, but she does so much. She's so amazing, and really just wanted to have a conversation. This is our strand, Amy, for our user group, talking about how do we expand participation in STEM, in particular, get more girls and more minorities participating in the pipeline of that future STEM development. Tell us a little bit about your South Carolina STEM Educator of the Year initiative. What is it you sort of named as your initiative this year?
All right, so my initiative has been called Changing the Face of STEM, because it's been my goal over the last 8 years of teaching Gateway to Technology, which is a STEM-based program, to get more girls and more minorities enrolled in my program. And I have focused heavily on girls because the very first few years I did the class, I maybe had 3-4 girls in it. And now I'm up to some classes having 50% or even more females in them. And so I did things like girl power initiatives, where I would host Saturday events where I invited girls from 4th grade through 8th grade to come hang out, to do design challenges, coding challenges, engineering challenges, along with women from those fields. So we had representatives from Boeing, we had representatives from SPAWAR, from the Low Country Women Engineers groups, who came in and actually did these activities with the girls so the girls could see themselves in these STEM fields, because it's really important. Representation matters. And it matters that the kids can see themselves in that world. And so it was a great experience for them. And we had 63 girls show up to our first Girl Power event. And the number one complaint was it wasn't long enough. So we have had a few virtual events since then, because our first event was pre-COVID. But we managed to do some fun meet and greets and activities online virtually as well. And it's really encouraged more and more girls to attend STEM functions, to look into STEM, as well as to take classes like mine. I actually found out this weekend from one of my young ladies that is graduating. She was one of my first big groups of girls, that she has been accepted into multiple engineering programs. And she said if it wasn't for the exposure, she wouldn't have found her passion. So it's about exposure. It's the biggest thing.
So as we talk about exposure, and we now clearly see your passion, it just bleeds out of you for this topic. Let's talk a little bit about Learning Blade. There's a Learning Blade user group. So you're talking about exposure and representation mattering. How does Learning Blade meet that for your students as you also care about this topic, right?
Absolutely. So my favorite thing about Learning Blade is the exposure to the different careers. I mean, I've learned about careers I didn't even know about. And so getting the kids out there where they can go through and learn these STEM connections and these possibilities for jobs is a great avenue for them. I love the computer science side, so it starts opening that world up. I mean, I live in Charleston. We're the digital corridor. The number of computer sciences jobs down here are astronomical, but the kids aren't used to seeing it. And by teaching the kids at the younger age, especially in middle school, and then they go home and talk to their parents about what they learned through Learning Blade, you're opening up those opportunities for the kids, because it's changing the way people see things. So Learning Blade is a great tool and avenue right at your fingertips, free in our state. I know many of your other states are free that way too. But again, it's fun, it's interactive, and it's teaching them about jobs that they might not typically know about. You know, when you say STEM, most people say, I don't want to be an engineer. Well, great. That's not the only thing that has a STEM field. So it helps open those opportunities up for everybody. And
you teach a diverse group of students in Oak Brook. A question I have for you is, how do you use Learning Blade? You see the value for increasing awareness and understanding of these careers, and that supports all students' interest in these fields. How do you implement it in your classroom?
Well, this year we've started what we call Learning Blade Fridays. So every Friday we work through our Learning Blade. This year what we decided to do was pick a mission for every grade level. So our 6th grade does dolphin rescue, our 7th grade does the car manufacturing, and our 8th grade does rescue robots, because it kind of marries with our curriculum. And we work through either a tool or a teammate every Friday. And the kids love it because they know they're working hard and they're getting to that on Friday. We built the little model guys, little Minecraft looking guys to go with it. And, it's great because it gives them the opportunity. I've also used some of the other lessons if I've ever had to be out with a substitute, because a lot of subs can't do the STEM work. And it's not because they can't, they just don't have the training that is necessary to do the program. And the kids get frustrated if there's a sub that can't help point them in the right direction. So it's a great tool because a substitute doesn't need to know anything about it, because the lessons are self-paced and the kids can walk themselves through it at their own pace. So those are the 2 ways I've been using them this year, and I love it.
Learning Blade Fridays. I've actually heard that from a bunch of teachers. So last question, because we want to keep these short and concise. As a STEMinist, someone who's really out there trying to make sure girls are motivated in STEM, what would be a singular piece of advice about getting started in motivating girls in other people's classrooms? They've come here, they're listening to you, they're saying, well, what can I do in my class? I can't do Saturday events. What's one thing that teachers can do in their everyday activities that's going to expand and broaden their students' sense of themselves in STEM?
Great suggestion. You can even do a guest speaker, but when you contact a company or a business, ask them specifically to send either a female or a minority. It's that simple. A lot of them will have women who volunteer just to speak, but aren't usually the ones that are selected. So when I reach out to companies like Boeing, because that's one of our people we have speak, I ask, can you send a female or a minority? Sometimes they get both. Sometimes it depends on their schedule. But, it's great to have them say, hey, you're trying to diversify. Let's send some of our diverse people to you as well.
I love that suggestion. That is really, really great. Amy Baldwin, you're wrapping up your STEM Educator of the Year. What's next for you? What are you going to apply for? What's your big next thing?
I don't know. I am currently the Project Lead the Way National Teacher of the Year, so I will be doing some things with that next year.
I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And then I don't really know. We have a new school opening in our district this year, so I will be helping start that STEM program. So who knows, leaps and bounds as COVID is starting to shake out. More opportunities are coming out there, so more things for girls, or just, again, opportunities to stretch and reach out into the community. I will be working with some women in tech in our low country to try to get some more girl events going on as well.
Let me ask you one last question, because you just mentioned you're the Project Lead the Way Teacher of the Year. Does Learning Blade sync up nicely with PLTW?
It marries perfectly. It absolutely does. The lessons get that background knowledge and information about the careers, and then y'all's hands-on and design challenges and 3D printing lessons marry perfectly with the Project Lead the Way curriculum. So it's been a wonderful asset, especially over the last 2 years with hybrid and virtual and kids quarantined, just to have that link where they're not always in class being able to interact as well as we want. So it's been a great link for our curriculum.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy Baldwin, South Carolina STEM Educator of the Year, National Project Lead the Way Teacher of the Year. Thanks for being on our user group.
Thank you, Josh.